Okay, moms, what is one ailment you always hear about over and over when it comes to children? Yes, ear infections. And what is the medical answer? Drugs, tubes in the ear, and even surgery. Seriously, is that the only answer? Well, did you know that chiropractic is one of the best solutions to this problem that affects so many children? It's true. And to learn more, let us join Dr. Damien Chisulo. Dr. Damien?
I've been a chiropractor for over 10 years, but my chiropractic story actually begins far before that. In 1975, I was brought for my first chiropractic adjustment when I was only an infant. I had somewhat of a traumatic birth, and my older brother had some success with chiropractic for himself, and so my parents decided to give it a try for me. My traumatic birth story is this. When I was coming out of the birth canal, the doctor, the obstetrician, as they're trained, was pulling on my neck, pulling and twisting, which put a lot of tension in my spine. I also had something else that wasn't going for me. I was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and it was choking off my life, basically the oxygen to my body. Well, the doctors removed that, but they left behind the misalignment, and it insidiously was left behind, unbeknownst to my parents, and all they knew was immediately upon coming home from the hospital, they had an unhappy baby on their hands. I was upset all the time. I wasn't able to be put down. I would scream and cry. My older brothers and sisters would attest that I was just an unhappy boy. They called it colic, but it was really nervous system distress. They brought me to the chiropractor, and chiropractors are uniquely trained to look for something called spinal subluxation, which is misalignment, putting stress on the nervous system, causing our body not to thrive. And that's where the ear infections and the healing comes in, which I'll get to in a second. The chiropractor found a misalignment in me in the top bone of my neck, which we often see with kids with ear infections, corrected that misalignment, and I flourished. I was just like a baby should be, happy and healthy and vibrant. It prompted me to become a chiropractor today. And today, I see a lot of children and a lot of families. And I get to see a lot of children with ear infections. And it's a twofold approach. The first step is you need to have your child checked for chiropractic. I encourage you to do that. And if it's not your children, I encourage you to have your friends or family's children checked. It's very important. A lot of times subluxations don't give off specific signs or symptoms. Sometimes they're insidious beneath the surface like mine. Chiropractors don't really treat ear infections. What we do is address these subluxations through a specific chiropractic adjustment. And for children, this is actually really simple. They don't have as much mileage on their tires, so they're easy to adjust. Sometimes a little adjustment goes a long way. It's safe, effective, and you see the results very quickly. Common treatments for ear infections often have different results. There are three major conventional medical treatments. One is a watch and wait approach, where we do nothing. The second is surgical intervention, which should always be your last resort, inserting tubes into the ears. And the third are antibiotics. They're probably the most common. Antibiotics, if you look at the word antibiotic, anti means against, bios or biotic is life. They're indiscriminate killers. They kill good bacteria with the bad. So the problem there is, if you killed all the grass on your lawn, for example, what would be left? And you just left dirt, weeds would flourish. The bad guys always win in that scenario. So unfortunately, often, the kids who've had the most antibiotics have the most recurrence of ear infections. They have the highest rate of the bad bacteria flourishing in their system. So in my office, it's a twofold approach. The first approach is we have your child checked for spinal misalignment. The second thing is there's some home care to be done on the parent's part. Parents need to do what I call a self-audit. You need to audit your lifestyle. So we brought our child in to be checked by the chiropractor. They've addressed spinal misalignment, which is causing the nervous system interference, and the child isn't thriving. We've addressed that, but we need to address diet. Let's look at the diet. Top 3 things that cause ear infections or encourage ear infections. Sugar. Bacteria love that. It's cheap and easy food, and they thrive on that. Second is maybe 2 and 2A. They're tied. Dairy and wheat. Both dairy and wheat, they each have different sets of proteins that are often difficult to digest for children. And I'm not saying allergies here. I'm saying a sensitivity. And this sensitivity irritates the gut and allows bad bacteria to flourish and infect your child. So we need to address those 2 items as well. The third will be rest. How's my child's rest? Do I have them under a schedule that's too intense for them and they're not able to heal? Healing takes place when we're at rest, when we're sleeping. So you have to audit your schedule. And in my family, I was the youngest of 6. I was an infant, but I had 5 siblings, 2 parents who worked, and 5 siblings who were out in school, all of which were bringing bacteria and sickness into the house and exposing me to a lot of things. In my family, very quickly, when my parents saw my oldest brother and me flourish, we realized very quickly that in our house, chiropractic had to be a family affair. So we all were checked regularly for spinal subluxation, and we had great results. So here we are, we're in the chiropractor's office, we're receiving great benefits for ourselves, and now it's time to spread the word. First place to start is with your children. Have your children checked, or suggest to your chiropractor that now might be a time that you would want to have them checked for spinal subluxation. The next place to start is with your friends and family. Everyone who's referred to my office comes because they heard the story from someone else. Someone was bold enough to share their story. That can be you. Carry a couple cards with your chiropractor's name on it. The children with the ear infections, they're easy to spot. They have goop coming out of their nose. They're usually very irritable, bags under the eyes. Maybe they were like me, just an infant who is horribly upset and crying all the time and you can't put them down. Chiropractic care has changed my life, and you have the opportunity to change someone else's life. I encourage you to do that. You can be the little beacon of light to a frustrated parent like my parents were. We were lucky. My parents had good success with my oldest brother. That doesn't always happen for everyone. You're having good success. Share your good success. Spread the word of chiropractic. You'll be healthier for it, and your community will be healthier as well.